Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the South Node square or opposition Chiron in a natal chart. Now, one way these aspects may manifest is that the past, which is the South Node, may have been a period of difficulty in terms of dealing with emotional and physical related wounds, which is Chiron. If Chiron is in, let's say if it's in Aries as an example, emotional wounds may have been simply tied in, with one's identity or one's place in the world, fitting in, with others, that sense of self. And the thing is, and physical related wounds may have been tied in, with the face, the skull, the head, the eyes, or the brain even. Now, another way these aspects may be expressed is that there may be trouble in terms of incorporating healing qualities, which is Chiron, with what you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node. Now, let's say, the South Node is in, Virgo as an example. Things you may naturally be proficient in may be tied in. It could be with, analysis, diagnosis, cleaning, organization, things that are service related in general, matters with health and fitness as some examples, compiling data, extrapolating data. Now, another way these aspects may manifest is that it may be hard in terms of balancing activities with what you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node, and helping and healing others. One may clash or conflict with the others. So the thing is, let's say, for example, if, Chiron, is in Taurus. You may help and heal others, in matters with, persistence, patience, perseverance, things that are tied to, financial stability, just having general peace and stability in one's life. As some examples, there may have been, you may be helping them out, in terms, monetarily. And also, too, the same may apply to people that were prominent in your past, which is the South Node, and helpers and healers, which is Chiron. One may conflict with the others. So the thing is, let's say, if, Chiron is in Gemini as an example, helpers and healers may be ones, that assist others in terms of, cerebral, intellectual ability, being able, to communicate. These helpers and healers may be, people that one or more may actually be a Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be those that are, eloquent, verbose, versatile, adaptable, loquacious, multifaceted, but maybe very mercurial and contradictory as well. Now, also, too, helpers and healers, which is Chiron, may not be favorable to your natural built-in abilities, which is the South Node. So they may either, not be in favor of them, or it could be they don't, for whatever reason, they're not around in terms of encouraging you in the expression of those built-in abilities. Now, if the South Node is in Aquarius, as an example, those natural built-in abilities, they may be tied in, with doing things, for the collective good of others, or humanitarianism, or doing something, with, astrology or astronomy or computers or electronics. It may be expressing, ingenuity as some examples. And also, too, another way these aspects in the natal chart could also indicate that first half of one's life, which is the South Node, may be a time in which you have issues, dealing with the deepest wound. Now, I understand, with deepest wound being Chiron. Now, I understand that, the deepest people can have issues dealing with the deepest wound regardless of, you know, aspects in the natal chart, but it may be more pronounced and emphasized with these aspects as opposed to many others. Now, if we have, let's say, if Chiron is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, that deepest wound may be tied in, with, home, family related matters. Maybe it has to do with issues with safety and security or protection, the expression of unconditional love, or even feeling unconditional love from other people. It can be, maybe there's issues with nurturing, as some examples. And also, too, people that may play an integral role in your past, which is the South Node, may not be beneficial in dealing with issues of depleted self-esteem, which is Chiron. Now, if Chiron is in Leo, as an example, issues with depleted self-esteem may be connected with, not getting, the recognition one feels he or she may have deserved. Maybe it's tied in with not being lauded and praised for one's efforts. It could be not getting the accolades that one may deserve, or maybe there is issues with expressing, extroversion or gregariousness, and also too diminished self-worth and suffering, which is Chiron. Maybe issues you have trouble leaving behind, which is the South Node. Now, let's say if Chiron is in Libra, as an example, diminished self-worth and suffering may be tied in, with one's relationships or a marriage situation. Maybe there was, legal issues that one had to deal with, may have lost some court battle that, maybe was tied into feeling demoralized or having some of this, diminished, self-worth. As some examples, maybe there are issues with attractiveness. Now, the same may also apply for physical related wounds, which is Chiron, and those pivotal in one's past. So it could be where the person may have dealt with the past. They may, if you're trying to leave people that are pivotal in your past behind, there may have been, some issues where, I'm sorry, let me be kind and rewind. There may be physical related wounds and suffering, which is Chiron, may have conflicted to some degree with, those that were pivotal in one's past, I should say, which is the South Node. And there could be, a conflict, in those, matters where maybe you didn't have, the ability to, do as much with people that were prominent in your past, because there may have been, more physical related suffering that may have clashed with that. If Chiron is in, let's say it's in, Scorpio, as an example, there may have been physical related wounds connected with the, could have been the colon, the prostate, the bladder, the urinary tract, or reproductive system. And also those, pivotal in one's past may not have been advantageous in matters connected with, pain and anguish that one may have dealt with, which is Chiron. Now, the thing is, if let's say, if Chiron is in Sagittarius, as an example, there may have been maybe some emotional pain, anguish, and suffering connected with one's higher learning, or college education, or issues, with publishing or advertising. Maybe there was, some, issues connected with the law. In some cases, one may have to endure, and those pivotal in one's past may not have really been much help in those matters. And also, too, helpers, healers, spiritual people, and astrologers, which is Chiron, may not be overly auspicious in what you're trying to get away from, which is the South Node. Now, let's say that the South Node is in Aquarius, as an example. There may be, some kind of, overly rebellious, non-conforming, idiosyncratic behavior that one may have been trying to get away from. And those helpers, healers, spiritual spiritual people and even astrologers, for whatever reason, may not have been beneficial in those matters. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.